The Denver Broncos and the Miami Dolphins. With that, let's get down to Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Standing by for the call, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Denver Broncos and the Miami Dolphins. Hi, everyone. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. Charles, you look at the Dolphins as they enter play in this one. And losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Broncos, they come into this one knowing it's been a while since tasting victory. They've dropped 4 in a row.
Can they remember what it was like to win a game? In these types of situations, you're looking for someone to inspire you, and it doesn't have to be one of your best players either.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. Returning it, Carlos Henderson. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, the former Houston Cougar, Case Keenum.
I love just about everything about him. Love his game, love his makeup, love his moxie, one of my favorite words. This guy's a competitor. Gritty, tough, you name it, he's got it. But he did throw an interception in last week's game. That contributed to a loss. And despite the fact he threw 3 touchdown passes, he's going to be out there redoubling his efforts and trying to play better.
And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. The linebacker Ryan Shazier there to make the tackle. The offensive starters now for the Broncos.
Let's focus outside on Demaryius Thomas. His numbers were down slightly last year. First time in the last 5 years he didn't top 1,000 yards. But this guy's been to 5 Pro Bowls. And when I think about the evolution of his career, from his time at Georgia Tech where they were running an option offense and he didn't catch much more than bombs, to now being a complete receiver, no reason in my mind to think he won't be over 1,000 yards again in the future.
On second down, here's Keenum. And his throw is going to be incomplete. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver. And that takes us from second to third down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Throwing is Keenum on third down. Looking deep downfield. And a shot taken on third down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me, his balance and his ability to take on blocks and be a force in the run game, as we just saw there.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14.
Gone!
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, third down. He was all over that route defensively. Now, they had 2 picks last week as a unit. Couldn't quite grab that one.
Patience, Grasshopper. Patience. It's early in this game, but you like the fact that they're around the football early. They're going to be upset they didn't haul that one in, but at least they're there at the moment of truth to make a play on it.
By the way, where did the grasshopper thing come from? I know it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, you know, I'll have to tell you that some other time.
Back to football. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
Call that a 46-yard punt, though they did get 9 back on the return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. Now the Broncos offense, they get set to head back onto the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
On 2nd down, Freeman. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they
try to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. Tre'Davious White with a pick. And they're going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
Well, it's 3rd and long, and you've got a few different ways to play it offensively. But this is not the type of offense that's going to wave the white flag. They're going to keep chucking it. And this time, it results in an interception.
The Dolphins' offense now heads back on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Looking for White on the deep ball. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. 3rd down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. A good pickup there at 22. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down. I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback, but when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? It creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. They'll look to throw here. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl-type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. And coming out now, the Broncos. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now a handoff. It's Freeman. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Throwing on 3rd down, Keenum. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. It's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. A terrific return. 30 yards all in all. And it'll be Dolphin football. Time for our first check of the NFL scoreboard. And the Ravens have opened it up a bit, leading by a couple of scores. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses.
Here we go now. Green, 39.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And that is incomplete.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
The Dolphins on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. They'll look to throw. On the left side, a catch by White. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A really nice gain of 25 yards. So finally completes his first pass. Credit the defense, though. They've been showing him some different looks, keeping him off balance.
Yeah, I like the observation that you had there, because when you give him different looks and give any quarterback different looks, it takes just a little bit longer to process sometimes, and you don't throw the ball with the same confidence. You're not sure that that's where you should go with the football. And that's worked for the defense early in this game. And now he's got his first completion. Let's see if his confidence comes back and he starts to get into a nice little groove. While we know that the identity of this offense is to throw the ball, they've got to run it every so often, if for no other reason than to tamp down the pass rush. They can't let them just tee off and get to their quarterback.
Here's Freeman. one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
That's 2 really good stops in a row. Back-to-back tackles for losses. I mean, let's face it, they are locked into what they're doing offensively, and now they've earned the right to rush the passer on 3rd down, haven't they?
Yeah, and offensively, they're going to have to do something else because the run game, at least on this drive, isn't working. And that is incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Now, prior to the snap, we hit all zeros as time has run out on the first quarter of play. 0-0 our score as they take over following the punt with a 1st and 10.
Detroit! 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 Detroit!
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Going for the deep ball. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A very solid gain of 27.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. His throw incomplete. Well, the passing game right now for them, not overly impressive. Last week he hit on right at 50%. This week he's under 50%.
And it's not just on him. Protection, a few breakdowns along the way that's made him get off the spot. Receivers not getting their way open downfield. The coverage has been awfully tight. They've got to all get together and find ways to make this passing game get in gear.
Looks for White, but it's intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a 1st down.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
They go play action here on 1st down. Got his man, it's Thomas. Touchdown, Denver. Demaryius Thomas, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Broncos are in for 6. Now for the extra point, Daniel Carlson. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Jakeem Grant now to return. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Then the Dolphins getting set to go here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. So a decent game, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Dominique Easley in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down. Then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back. But it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Looking for White on the deep. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. And that was a young pup, the rookie, being intercepted by a veteran DB.
And I loved our quick conversation in pregame with him on the field where he said, hey, look, I love playing these young quarterbacks. They don't know a whole lot yet, so I can use my mind to put me in a position to make a play.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. Now he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Nyheim Hines, his first carry. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 13.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Here's Keenum. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. It'll be called just a 22-yard punt. Certainly not what he wanted. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the 2nd quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out. And instead of it going to the opponents, get it to his own receivers and find the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 picks. No touchdown passes yet either. Mixon gets the nod to start the drive. And a nice run past the 30-yard line there. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
I'd say it's pretty good strategy. If you throw interceptions on back-to-back drives, let's see if the running backs can handle the ball a little bit, get things going. And also, you motivate your offensive line. I think they're in the mood to fire out and hit someone.
I thought the defense, though, might be a little more prepared for that run. Pretty good gain on the ground. On 2nd down, here's Mixon. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Dolphin 1st down.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Mixon with a 1st down carry. And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
Hurry up, here we go.
They'll drop to throw. Throw left side complete. It's White, and he'll get it down here to the 43. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. This guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. And that is not a sight they want to see. Joe Mixon very slow to get up. We'll get an update when we come back to Hard Rock Stadium. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. Landed.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. That one good for 13 and a Dolphin 1st down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
This quarterback now 6 of 17 throwing the ball, only 35%, but he does have a 1st and 10. Back to throw here. And that is incomplete. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. 50 catches for him now on the year. He's got a 1st down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
2 minutes remain here in the 1st half. We'll come back to Miami after this. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll send you up to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there, and he'll have stats and scores from a busy Sunday in the NFL. First carry now for the backup, LaShawn McCoy. And he'll take this one inside the 10, down to the 8. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Gun, gun. Gun, gun.
He'll drop to throw. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The
leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and give these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Here's Keenum now on 2nd down. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
3rd and 2. Keenum. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. Now the Dolphins are going to halt the action here. It's a timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Here's Marquette King now, standing just outside his own goal line. And it's fielded at the 34. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Dolphins will begin this drive in great field position, 1st and 10. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it, and it took the ball off course.
They certainly thought they had him surrounded and probably thought they were going to get him on the ground and get the sack, but he was able to elude that. And even though it threw it incomplete downfield, if you're a defensive back, you're loving the pressure that you're seeing from your front.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. They'll set up to throw. He's going to fire one deep, middle. This is caught inside the 15. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. A big play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Dolphins are an extra point away from tying up this football game. And a little time left on the clock, so on the other side, they're thinking, gosh, we'd like to get that lead right back.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Here I am, go ahead and tapping out the first half. There's still time. They've got to make a decision about what they want to do on the kickoff, whether they want to let their return guy touch it.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win 1st down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating 1st downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Hines. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. So a touchdown apiece. That's what we have to show at halftime as they head to the locker room. 7-7 hours score. Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the 3rd quarter. Set and ready to go for the 2nd half. 1 touchdown apiece. 7-7 our score. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find
LeSean McCoy off to the races. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. LeSean McCoy, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Dolphins are in for 6. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Extra point put through by Boswell, and that makes the score 14-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. On the return is Henderson. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things work well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
Now, I'm going to follow right along with you, because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. Kayvon Webster there to make the tackle.
On a second and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on third down.
That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down.
Brandon, that's a tough guy right there. He knew that was going to happen. In other words, he had to absorb that hit. How about him securing the football, churning the legs a little bit, and gaining what he needed for a first down?
Well, that's the deal. On third down, these guys, they know where the sticks are. He obviously knew right there.
And if you want to be a dependable third down receiver, you've got to be willing to absorb those types of hits and make those sort of plays.
Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
To throw on second down is Keenum. Flushed out right. He turned that into a nice gain, gets him 8 yards closer for third down. The Broncos on third down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Now Keenum. And down he goes. Keenum is sacked. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
So on trots the field goal unit, and wow, this is going to be a challenge here. This was the old NFL record distance for decades, a 63-yard attempt. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
So now here come the Dolphins. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. He's going to fire one deep over the middle, and he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
They're going to look to throw. Looking for White on the deep. That's caught inside the 20. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A gain of 32 that time.
We just saw him hit a big play there on a deep post. And most of the time, the post isn't available because usually you have defenders in the middle of the field. But if you throw enough curls and crossing routes and underneath routes, I know from experience, they get tired of watching those balls get caught. They start to creep up a little bit, and that's when you can hit them big over the top.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again, they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Back to throw. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
The Dolphins on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Now back to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. In for the score. And the Dolphins are able to grow their lead.
Man, he just ran a terrific route. Extremely hard to defend when it's run that precisely and the ball's delivered that accurately.
Boswell good with the extra point, and it's now 21-7. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. On the return is Henderson. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field. And the last go-around for them, they tried that really, really long field goal, couldn't connect.
And in retrospect, I think a lot of people would say, well, why would you try one that long? You hurt yourself in field position. The ball comes out, there. That only helps the other team. But I look at it as maybe it was a double shot of confidence. Confident the kicker could make it. And even if he missed, confident in their defense that they could hold him.
Now it's Freeman. And he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Now Keenum throwing on second. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Play action. Now it's Keenum. On the crossing route, complete. It's Hunter. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. Solid gain of 18 yards and a Denver first down.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. and reading your keys. You always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen.
It's the Broncos trailing, but they do have possession of the football as we begin quarter number 4. On 2nd down, here's Keenum. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Keenum on 3rd down. Hits his target, Hunter. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 11 more yards there. This methodical drive continues. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Keenum now 8 of 15 through the air, but it's 1st and 10 here. From the gun, here's Keenum. That's caught. It's Thomas. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Demaryius Thomas, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Broncos draw a bit closer.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where did you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. They've been rolling the last couple of drives, each ending in touchdowns. So this game is flipped. They were down. Now they're up with the football. We'll see how they handle it.
Can we get a spy on the headset now between the head coach and offensive coordinator? Because they've been in attack mode. Had to get back into the game. Now they have the lead. Do you stay on the attack? Or do you dial it back a little bit to try and protect this lead?
Well, my cop-out answer would be somewhere in the middle. I think it's going to be a fine line, is it not?
I think you're exactly right, but I do think if they can stay aggressive and keep them on their heels, they'll be best served that way.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. The Dolphins on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 9. He'll look to throw. He hits White, complete. And they've got it well across midfield, down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A gain of 26 on the 3rd down conversion. Well, there's your leading receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, putting on another clinic, well over 100 yards.
Are we taking notes? We should be, right? Because I'm going to go back and watch this tape and really enjoy what I'm seeing. The route running, competing for the football, just breaking down a defense.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a pretty good run there as he gets 7 down to the 33.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. On play action, they'll throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And, oh, not only did he drop it, he dropped it in the end zone.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
The Dolphins on third down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. Here it's 3rd and 3. They'll set up a throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on third down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker.
Detroit! Detroit! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. As his guys are in for 6, and the Dolphins add on to their lead. Extra point now by Boswell. Extra point put through by Boswell, and the lead now up to 14. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
On 1st and 10, Keenum. It's complete here to T.Y. Hilton. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards. That's just his 2nd catch of the game. They wanted to keep him silent. They have kept him silent.
Defensive football 101. Don't let the best player on offense beat you. Take him out of the game, and they've done a great job of doing that.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Keenum. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Shotgun snap for Keenum. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. On 3rd and long, it's Keenum. And he comes back with one complete. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And he's not even going to come close to picking up the first. They stop him right at the line of scrimmage. So now with a 2-minute warning coming up fast, that puts a mammoth dent in their comeback hopes.
I like how you phrased it. It's a dent because there's still opportunity. They've got to get the ball back on defense, obviously twice, But guess what? This thing is not close to being over. They need to go ahead and play it out.
Not over. As you said, two-score game still. And down inside the 40 to about the 38. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep it. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. That goes for a gain of 31. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They've got it first and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided.
Here we go.
They'll give it to Mixon. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. He's going to get it running right. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A great effort there. His sixth touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins are able to grow their lead. And, Charles, when you catch that toss going right or left, really, but right in this instance, do you go straight for the pylon? Is that where you're going?
Well, typically you want to try and maneuver people a little bit so you have some space to get to the pylon. So I want to make sure I try and move them a little bit to the inside, and in this case to the left, so I can get to the right side and get to that pylon and wink at it as I go by.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So the Broncos coming out now. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it. When you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Bronco first down. Keenum on first down. And Thomas has it. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. A gain of 6 there on first. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. On second down, here's Keenum. Over the middle here, it's Hilton. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. Keenum now on first down. He's got it to Hilton. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play. On first and 10, here's Keenum. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Give him 8 on the play, and it'll make it a second down. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. Again, it's Keenum. Over the middle, he's got Deshaun Hamilton. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again. Now Keenum. And that incompletion breaks a string of 5 straight connections. And it's second down.
Certainly looked like maybe his third or his fourth read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
From the 21, it's second and 10. Second and 10. Keenum here again. And he's going to go down here as sacked. They push him back to the 34. Raekwon McMillan in there to get him for what will be a loss of 13 yards. Third and long. It's Keenum. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game.